And now, another story in the history of Bowden, Alberta. Almer Roy Johnston was born here on March 4th, 1914, but his story begins even earlier with his father Charles Johnston, one of Bowden's formative figures. Charles Johnston was no ordinary prairie settler. As a young man, he traveled north during the Yukon Gold Rush of 1898, not as a prospector but as a soldier with the Yukon Field Force, sent to reinforce the Northwest Mounted Police during a moment of explosive growth and lawlessness. It was an early lesson in order, service, and responsibility. After his discharge, Charles intended to head on to South Africa for more adventure, but instead, he followed Annie Howard to Bowden, Alberta. He farmed briefly, then spent 34 years running Bowden's post office, making public service a family tradition. Roy grew up inside that legacy. When the Second World War came, Roy enlisted in February 1940 and joined the Royal Canadian Artillery as a gunner. His medals trace his war almost chronologically. The 1939 to 1945 star marks his earliest overseas service in the United Kingdom, training under constant threat of air attack. The Italy star reflects some of the most punishing fighting of the war: steep mountains, mud, and relentless shellfire, where Canadian artillery proved decisive. The France and Germany star signifies service during the final push across Western Europe, through France, Holland, and into Germany itself. The Defense Medal and Canadian Volunteer Service Medal confirm what mattered most. Roy volunteered, and he stayed until the war was finished. Service records and later badges reveal another trusted role. Roy served at times as a chauffeur, transporting officers, documents, and supplies. It was quiet work, but essential, requiring discretion, reliability, and calm under pressure. After returning home in 1945, Roy stepped naturally into civilian service. He took over Bowden's post office from his father, making postal service a true family affair, before later moving to Oyen, where he and his wife Muriel ran the local drugstore. He remained active in the Royal Canadian Legion, a place where veterans remembered together, often without words. In later years, Roy became an avid gun and knife collector. His collection included rare and historically significant items, among them a Hitler Youth knife. It was not kept as a trophy, but as evidence of a defeated ideology, preserved by a man who had seen firsthand what that ideology had cost. Almer Roy Johnston passed away in January 1988. His memorial service was held at the Oyen Legion Hall, and his ashes were laid to rest in Bowden Cemetery, returning him at last to the place where his family's story had long been rooted. And that's another story in the history of Bowden. Like and subscribe for more stories.